Good morning. I'm sitting here Saturday morning, just about to set off to Steenwijk, which is about 75 miles, I think, 120 kilometre. Yesterday was grim. I left the Hook of Holland in torrential rain. It was howling a gale and was pretty miserable all day actually. I didn't bother with lunch. I just couldn't face the idea really of stopping and all that faff that comes with it. So yeah, just sort of plugged along really. I did eventually have to stop for a little bit of something, ended up in a supermarket and got some rolls and some and a drink. And then oh yeah, one of the nicest thing that happened to me yesterday was yeah, I spent the whole journey looking for a cash machine and or somewhere to change sterling into euros, and that sort of started at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I think I finally found salvation around sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I asked a very nice lady if she knew if there was a cash machine or B somewhere to, sort of change money, and she advised that I would be able to use a cash machine in a supermarket, which was very nice of her. So she actually went into the supermarket to see if there was one there, and there was. That was great. She came out and we had a 30 seconds of conversation about my cycling and how to pronounce rather the name of the place I was heading to, which to English ears is apostrophe S, as the Dutch say, hyphen Graveland. But yeah, it's not quite as straightforward as you think. My nearest pronunciation is Graagland. Graland, Graland. Let's try that. But anyway, she was very nice, and we said our Cheerios, and off I went into the shop, and obviously she went off on her own. And then, lo and behold, as I was just leaving the supermarket, she turned up with a little sort of food parcel for me, which I thought was very nice. And she said that I had 2 hours of cycling ahead of me, so she thought I could do a little food parcel. So hey, I was already a recipient of the kindness of strangers, so fingers crossed. But really the day was grim. It was that grim. It was that grim. I actually got into the Vrienden op de Fiets accommodation. I didn't shower before I popped out. I went to no I didn't. I went to what is the equivalent of a British chip shop really, selling croquette and frites. A place I'd actually been to last year, so it was all a bit deja vu-ish. Groundhog Day. And when I got back, I checked the time, and I think it was, excuse me, I don't know, 8 o'clock at the latest. So I just got into bed and put the radio on, listened to the Archers, hurrah, and fell asleep sometime during question time, or any questions as the Radio 4 variant is. I woke up this morning feeling refreshed, no soreness in the legs, no soreness anywhere really. So today is, as I say, it's a ride of around 120 kilometres. Just looking out of the window now, the weather is, well, it's not overcast, it's sort of blue skies really, but you can see the wind is already pulling over trees, so that'll be fun. I'm told by a dear friend who sent me a satellite sort of overview of the weather that there won't be much or any rain, but I will have a tailwind for my journey. And if that's true, it'll be like winning the lottery, because the thing is about cycling here, it is fantastic. The infrastructure's second to none. It's the best in the world. There is cycle lanes, there cycle traffic lights, everything's a dream. No matter where you go, second to none. It's fantastic. What the Dutch aren't so good at is hedgerows. I don't think I've seen a hedgerow in all the times I've been here. And when it comes to building roads, they go from A to B without deviation. The Dutch do not like to see a bend in a road, through pain of death, what I can work out. So what that means for what it meant for yesterday was I travelled 35 kilometres on a single road without a deviation. It's just mind-numbing. But today I already know is that the vast majority of my my ride will be on the coast, and the road, I forget the name of the road. I'll find out for later. But it runs on the sort of coast, and it's as straight as a die for at least 30 kilometres. So if my sources are correct, that will be on with a tailwind. I'm almost convinced that won't be a tailwind. That will be a headwind. My life doesn't really work like that. What I'm going to do now is quickly wrap this up, and then quickly just put my bags and bits and bobs together, and the aim is to get onto the road before 9 o'clock. So I will see you later. Hello again. It's 6:30 on Saturday evening. My ride is over, and amazingly the forecast winds were indeed on my side. So much so, I actually arrived here about 3 o'clock. In the sort of planning process of today, my thoughts were, after yesterday, that it would be, I don't know, between 5 and 7 that I arrived. But as I say, 3 o'clock, and all's well, and working brilliantly. What I normally do with my bike and sort of planning routes is I work on the theory that I can probably get 10 miles an hour average out of the bike. It's very heavy and weighed down with luggage. It's a good working average, and it's kept me in good stead thus far. But today, can you believe, my average was just over 21 miles an hour. With a back wind the whole way, it was amazing. I sailed along, so much so, I didn't even bother stopping for lunch. I think about sort of, what would you say, 30 kilometres from my target destination, I stopped for a coffee. But yeah, I could have easily sailed on really, so that was great. So nothing else to report. The day was a spectacular success. The plan for the evening now really is to do very little. I'll do a wee bit of planning, I'll do some eating, and probably have another early night, but not quite as early as last night, of course. That really was terrible. So yeah, I'll sign off now, and if I don't see you tomorrow, I'll probably see you the day after.